Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second week of Digital Manufacturing Talks. My name is Tyler Fenhouse. I'm the marketing manager for Symphony AI Industrial. We've got a phenomenal informational talk lined up for you today, which is titled 5 Hidden Benefits of Implementing a Connected Worker Solution. As you may know, Symphony AI Industrial is a leader in industrial AI solutions in digital manufacturing, plant performance and optimization, and connected worker. Symphony AI Industrial is a Symphony AI vertical. There are several Symphony AI verticals. You can see them there on your screen on the next slide. And we are one of the largest, if not the largest, enterprise AI companies with more than 1,600 customers and 3,000 employees. We are presenting on the GoToWebinar platform, and we have a very large audience this morning, so everyone will be muted and silenced throughout the presentations, but we still want your questions. To the right of your screen, there is a section and on a little control panel, and on that control panel, there should be a question section. You can type those questions in there as we go along in the presentation, and at the end of the presentation, Anderson, our presenter, is going to answer them live right here today. So make sure you are typing those in as we go along. Also be on the lookout for multiple choice poll questions that we will be asking you throughout the presentation. All right, I know you didn't come here to listen to me talk all day, so I'm going to hand it off to Anderson. He's got a lot to cover. So Anderson, take it away.
Thanks, Tyler. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. So like Tyler mentioned, Symphony AI Industrial, we are part of the industrial vertical, and that includes digital manufacturing, plant performance, and connected workers. Symphony, at a glance, has about 7 verticals. We have about 1,600 customers worldwide, 3,000 employees, and we were founded in 2017. And obviously, our focus is on solutions for the different verticals that have AI applied to it. So first, I'm going to start off with the agenda. The agenda is going to be just a quick introduction on myself. We're going to have an overview of the connected worker platform. I'm going to cover the 5 hidden benefits as promised, and then we'll have a quick Q&A session for any of you that have questions. Please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll go over them at the end. And then we'll finish up with the conclusion. So, as promised, my name is Anderson Lemos. I am the Manager of Solution Engineering here in the Symphony AI Industrial vertical. We cover all 3 of the divisions within the vertical, which is plant performance, digital manufacturing, and connected worker. Today we will be covering the connected worker. My background, it's a little over 12 years in manufacturing, anything from CNC machines to industrial automation, robots, medical device, and electronic assemblies. Mostly I have been focusing on the software that powers that manufacturing, whether it's CAD/CAM or connected worker platforms or ERP, MES systems, that kind of thing. And for the fun time for outside of work, I really do enjoy Formula One. I'm a big Lando Norris fan. So for those of you in the crowd that like Formula One, let's chat about it later. Tyler, you want to jump off and go into that first poll question? Alrighty, I'll give you a couple minutes here to get those answers in. You won't take very long.
All right, a couple more seconds, just very quick, just to get your feet wet. Are you currently in a digital transformation journey? Yes or no? Just trying to guide where Anderson's presentation is going to go. All right, a couple more seconds. Looks like 80% of the room has voted. All right, and let's take a look. And 100% of the room, yes, they are currently walking down that road. So good audience this morning, Anderson. Back to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Tyler. Thank you, everyone, for voting. So, like I mentioned before, connecting people, processes, and assets. That's what Symphony AI Industrial does. So today we're going to focus on the people portion of it. That's going to be Proceedix. And really, the way Proceedix works, it's guiding what we call the frontline worker through digital work instructions, inspections. We go on wearable technology, mobile technology, laptops, or device agnostic. So any OS or device that you would like to use, bring your own device. Proceedix will work on it. And of course, lends itself well into the Industry 4.0 and digital transformation initiatives that we see today. So that's great, but what we see today, it's quite a different environment, right? You probably see something along the lines of what you see on your screen. An old piece of paper, it's dusty, it's on a machine or a toolbox somewhere, you can never find it. And then, of course, the infamous operator that has an old revision inside of the toolbox somewhere, and they pull that old revision out on the exact day that the auditor is walking around, and you get in trouble for having that old revision. So that's what we are trying to steer away from by digitizing these processes. And I'll go a little bit deeper into how we do that and what we do. Another scenario, it's the walkie-talkie. How many times have you been on the shop floor and waited for somebody to walkie-talkie radio somebody else because their machine needs maintenance, or there's a conveyor that's jammed, or whatever the issue is? Does it ever kind of feel like this, right? Bruce Willis and Die Hard, had to throw that up there. Walkie-talkies are great, but they're not super efficient, right? It depends on where the other person is. Is there reception? Are they even here today? I can't log in and check if that person is able to even do this task. Those kinds of issues that come up in the manufacturing floor today. So what do? We digitize the instructions and the inspections, and we connect and empower those frontline workers. So I'm going to give you a little a little illustration of how this works. So this is a manufacturing use case with a connected worker. You see, obviously, very basic production lines, robots, conveyor belts, CNC lathe, that kind of thing. So let's add a connected worker platform to it. Now, what does a connected worker platform include? In this case, it's going to be an admin portal, a user app, and it's a dynamic and conditional workflows. And of course, like I mentioned before, device agnostic. So iPads, tablets, smartphones, RealWear, iRistic glasses, even HoloLens. So how do we get to the next step? Well, you go to integrations. So integrations is your systems that you currently have, all the 3-letter acronyms that you can think of, right? MES, ERP system, LIMS systems. We integrate with those seamlessly, so open API architecture. And what we do is we push and pull data to and from those different systems so that you're always connected. It's not a disparate system that's a standalone and out, it kind of by itself, the connected worker platform, but it complements and works with your existing systems. Now, one of the big use cases, one of the benefits we're going to cover today, it's that full audit trail. It's who did what, where, when, how. Now, I'm going to cover this a little bit deeper when we get into the benefits section of this, but it's really that automation of that collection. So I don't have to sit there and fill out every piece of paper. I just automate that. So let's continue here, but we'll dig a little deeper into that one, as well as data and analytics. So collect all this data. What do I do with it? How do I translate it into value? Well, here's some of the manufacturing tasks that we see that this connected worker platform with its integrations, with its full audit trail, analytics and data, this is where it applies. So, maintenance tasks, a lot of high asset or high dollar assets, high value machines that are being maintained. Let's keep a good record of that. Let's make sure that the data is reliable, and let's make sure that we're actually maintaining these assets. In production, if it's a very stringent production process or something where you have to keep high levels of traceability, think, food and beverage or chemical or medical device, that kind of production environment. This is where a full traceability system that digitizes it is very important. Quality inspections is another one, making sure that we have good quality systems in place and making sure that we are doing the inspections appropriately. This is where the connected worker platform, it's a good one for solving that problem. Another one, 5S, Gemba walks, lean manufacturing, all of those efforts that we're doing today. Connected worker platform definitely helps with that, because you can enable your operators, your inspectors to do these, let's say, Gemba walks, 5S, going around the shop, making sure that everything is in its appropriate place, and lean manufacturing. So certainly we've seen a lot of customers who have implemented those systems and then have had issues with upkeep of those lean and 5S efforts, using the connected worker platform to make sure that those tasks, those checks, those systems are in place every day. Another big benefit of a connected worker platform, Proceedix, it's remote assist. So let's say you have a junior technician out on the shop floor, or even if it is a senior technician, but it's a new piece of equipment that he or she has not seen before, then how do you get them in connect with the team that needs to teach them or show them what needs to get fixed? We do that through remote assist. So video and audio calling, much like your FaceTime on your cell phone, except this has data tracking of what's being done, when it's being done, how long it took, and also the ability to send a procedure to that person to then complete that maintenance or whatever repair or whatever technician, whatever work they're doing out in the field or in a place where the factory, the OEM, for example, is not there yet. So we're connecting teams. So we're connecting an operator to maintenance, or technician teams to engineering teams, that kind of thing. And quickly, we'll cover on IIoT integration. So we integrate very well with your IIoT sensors, leveraging existing IoT devices and sensors to trigger workflows, trigger alerts, actions, etc. And then finally, we'll cover the launch and manage actions. So users can send action items and procedures to other personnel, and managers can track that resolution, all within this connected worker platform. All right, now that was a lot of information, so I'll take a breath here, and we're gonna skip over to our poll question number 2. Tyler, take it away.
All right, we do have another question before we get to the second leg of this presentation. Have you heard of or tried a connected worker solution? So again, real simple question, just a yes or no question. And again, this will kind of guide where Anderson steers this digital manufacturing talk. All right, looks like about 85% of the room has voted. If you haven't voted, get that vote in. Couple more seconds, and then we will keep on rolling here. All right, let's take a look. And once again, 100%. They're got a very savvy crowd this morning, Anderson. Back to you.
All righty, good. Keep me on my toes. Keep me honest. All right, so the first of the 5 hidden benefits of implementing a connected worker solution. Now, what do I mean when I say 5 hidden benefits? These are benefits that you often don't think about before switching to a connected worker solution. These are our clients are seeing these benefits. Obviously, we're explaining to them beforehand, but these are some of the benefits that they're seeing by implementing a connected worker solution that they didn't think they would see. Obviously, hey, you can have this on your cell phone. You have digital data. You don't have to use a piece of paper. You don't have to look for a pencil or a pen. Those are all pretty obvious benefits, but some of the hidden ones are what we're going to cover today. And the first one is automated data collection. Now, what do I mean by that? So automated data means you see on the right-hand side here, we have a person holding a cell phone using Proceedix to do an oil level check. Now, all they have to do is click the yes or the green button or the no button to say, yes, I pulled the oil level and checked. Now, that's one click, but all the data that's being collected is in the background. So for example, in this case, we're collecting the time, we're collecting who's doing this execution, where are they doing it, how are they doing it, when are they doing it. All of this data that's being collected is being collected automatically. So how does that benefit our customers? One of our customers is a very large wind turbine manufacturer, and they service these wind turbines all over the world, thousands of different sites, tens of thousands of users, and they have a lot of data that needs to be collected. So this is an example of a very long safety inspection checklist. This is actually page 1 of 3. Obviously, this is not their form, but it's something that would resemble that. As you can see, there's a lot of things they have to fill in before they're able to climb a very tall windmill and service it. Now, imagine the amount of time that needs to go into filling this out when the person, the technician, the maintenance operator is on site. So what if you could automate 60, 70% of this? For example, date, time, did I do this? Did I do that? Taking pictures. I don't have to bring a digital camera with me, take a picture, and then scan this piece of paper and then upload it to a different system and then plug in my camera and then, oh crap, I don't have the correct micro USB cord. I have another one. Man, I have to go find that one. So all of those issues go away simply by doing it on a smartphone. So now you can also add photos instead of just check the connection. You can actually add a graphical representation of where the connection is. What is a good connection? What is a bad connection? So you're reducing that burden on the operator to remember that. So you're collecting all of this other data automatically. So if I hit proceed, I'm going to go through and look at the different data that I collected and see that, hey, all of this is already done. We're just asking the operator to input the actual data that they know, their knowledge. So of the actual connection, of the actual thing that they're doing, whether it's, input the temperature or input a variable that requires the human touch and feel to understand. That's how you get automated data collection within Proceedix. Now, that sounds great. What's the benefit? So this customer actually has seen about a 20% time savings in their maintenance tasks. We actually are seeing higher than that now. This was in the first couple of months. And inspection they saved 30% on their time to inspect one of these turbines. Now, keep in mind, one of these maintenance tasks and one of these inspection tasks might take days to complete, if sometimes weeks. So a 30% time savings on weeks worth of work is a significant time savings, especially when wind turbine maintenance operators they're not exactly cheap labor, right? They're very skilled, very highly skilled individuals who take a lot of time to train. All right, with that being said, let's jump over to hidden benefit number 2, and that's going to be compliance. What do I mean by compliance? So each year, manufacturers spend about $190 billion to comply with economic, environmental, workplace safety regulations and regulatory compliance. What does that mean by compliance? Well, it means traceability, right? Like who did what, where, when, how, making sure that these answers are correct with complying with the regulations and making sure that they're doing what needs to be done as a company or as an individual the correct way. So first time right? Like standardizing digital procedures, it really decreases the number of workplace incidents and operational errors because you're giving the operator clear instructions. How to guidance step by step reduces waste, and it lowers the cost of error, right? It lowers error in general too. Another one that we're going to touch on today is going to be lean and paperless. What do we mean by lean and paperless? So lean and paperless is burdensome paper administration, for example. Digital procedures don't require any paper administration. So you're making your operators more lean and more efficient. So I don't have to fill out a piece of paper, then upload that piece of paper to a different system, and then somebody else gets to check that piece of paper, and I have to worry about the person's handwriting, or maybe the piece of paper didn't scan right, maybe the scanner had the wrong exposure set. All of that goes away. So we're just doing paperless and lean inspections and maintenance. And then the first one is going to be reliability. So where we've seen human error come into place a lot, we're making sure that we try to mitigate that risk. Human error can have a lot of different issues, but major environmental or financial impacts by relying on human execution completely. So we mitigate that risk by providing graphical representations of what needs to be done and helping people see what needs to be done at a more user level rather than just on a piece of paper. Now, this one, I'm going to bring up, I'm going to talk a little bit, and then I'm going to actually bring up our software to show you what do I mean by this. So data to information, right? Data cost, there's a cost of you aggregating and collecting data, and then there's a benefit of you translating it into information. And that's what we're going to go through today. So what you see on the left is a representation of the data collection that happens when you use Proceedix. What you see on the right is when we translate that data into information. And we see that a lot of companies do not translate their data. They don't leverage their data into information. Actually, 68% of data available to enterprises goes unleveraged, according to Seagate. So let me show you that real quick. I'm going to jump over here into the Proceedix administrator portal. And the first thing you'll notice, here I have the history tab. Inside the history tab, I can look at a past of operations that have been completed within Proceedix. So, and this is the administrator view. So this is actually looking at what the operators, the users, the maintenance guys, the technicians, what did they do? What is one of the examples that they've finished recently? We can actually also look at this wind turbine inspection, which is similar to the view that the demo of the presentation I just did. You can actually look at that one through here, but that one is ongoing, meaning somebody's actually doing that. So if I were to click into here, I can actually click in and see what they're working on and what they're doing in near real time. But for illustration purposes, let's look at this one that has already been done since it has more data input. So as you can see, all of this data is automated collection, back to what we were talking about. So you have a start time, an end time, lead time, and an activity duration time. We have the operator, who did this work, where did they do this work? So I can actually click on this map. It's going to pull up a map view of where this operation was completed. So going back to the history view, we can look at pictures that were uploaded, notations done within Proceedix. I can click green check mark. I can draw a check mark. I can draw circles. I can launch nonconformities all within the application. So the user actually launched a nonconformity here, saying that the machine was running hot to medium severity. They signed it, and then here's all the inputs that they gave. So again, QR code scanned here, oil consumption input here. So again, all of this data has been collected, right? Now, what am I going to do with this data? Is it just going to sit here in this PDF report in a SharePoint somewhere and I'm never going to do anything? No, that's not what we want to do. So for that reason, Proceedix integrates with Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, and any other BI tools, especially the Symphony Industrial KPI 360 dashboard. We work really well with those different BI tools that will help you understand what is actually being done. So in this case, I can look at how many executions, oil check CFW, for example, how many executions have been done, procedure name, executions per state. So I can see that, hey, there are, 63.8% of these executions have been closed, but there's still some ongoing ones, 20% to be exact. And you can start digging into the data. Another one that's really valuable, task duration per operator, per period too. So operator APM, you can see they're doing this task the different tasks very quickly. Operator CFW, which is my demo account. So obviously I'm going to take a lot longer because I'm giving people demos. You can see that, hey, this operator is taking much longer. Let's dig in. Let's figure out what's going on. Is there an issue? Maybe the operator CFW's quality is much higher, and operator APM needs a little more training. Maybe they're going a little too fast through their operations. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe operator APM is faster and better quality. Therefore, operator CFW needs some more training, or maybe we need to do a time study on what they're doing. This is how you translate the data that you're collecting into information that's usable for the enterprise. All right, and then back to our presentation. So that was from data to information. The next one I want to talk about is connecting siloed teams. So we mentioned in the beginning remote assistance during the introduction and kind of the overview use case of connected worker for manufacturing. Now, remote assistance, what is it, right? It's, in this case, we're using a cell phone or a smart glasses that you see up top. It's an audio video call. The operators can connect to a senior engineering team who's in the office, or an operator can connect to a maintenance person who's not at that location today. Maybe they're at a different site, and they can walk each other through what they see and how to fix it. So zooming options, there are pointer options, you can share images, you can add and remove written notes, as well as instant messaging. We also do offer a conference mode and invitation to guests by text message or email. So it's a great collaboration tool. Obviously, during COVID, we all learned that these virtual tools are very useful, and many businesses have become reliant on them. So this is a good way of going through that and empowering and connecting your teams, whether you're out on the manufacturing floor or in an office environment. Some of the benefits we've seen, our customers have seen a 35% increase in first-time fix rates. Why is that? It's because that operator who finds a problem, maybe they haven't seen that problem before, or maybe they've only seen it once or twice. So they might do the best fix that they think is the best fix, but actually there's a maintenance technician or whoever else is responsible for that who has fixed it a dozen times, and they know that, hey, actually when you fix it this way, this is the correct fix. So we see a huge increase in first-time fix rates, as well as a very large reduction in time to resolution. Again, back to that walkie-talkie example, we've had customers who relied very heavily on walkie-talkies, but then once that walkie-talkie is answered, then, okay, what do I do next? Well, now I need to check my emails for where is this problem or what I need to fix. All of that can be streamlined through using a connected worker platform such as Proceedix. All right, and then my fifth and final point, it's going to be attracting talent. So definitely one of the big hidden benefits that we've seen, our customers have really enjoyed this. It's the talent attraction when you apply new technology. What do you mean by that? So first, 75% of young children have their own tablets today. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but most infants handle devices during their first year of life. So my son is nearly a year old, and he already steals a cell phone out of my hand. He knows how to use his tablet with his little cartoons on it. He swipes on it. It's actually pretty amazing, but it's scary at the same time. But it's something that kids today and the millennial generation are so used to and reliant on using technology. Do you really think they're going to go work in a factory environment where they have to fill out a dusty piece of paper every day? Probably not, because the truth of the matter is that millennials spend about 3.7 hours a day on their phone, which equates to about 56 days a year. I mean, the truth is we do everything on our phone, right? Text, call, check with friends, check Facebook, check LinkedIn, send emails, everything is done on our phones. But don't worry, baby boomers, don't feel left out. You also use your phone 39 days per year. So I was pretty impressed by that number. So everybody's using their phones quite a bit. So we have to leverage that into technology and using the workforce to use the same technology, but in a positive way, right? Not walk around the manufacturing floor checking Facebook. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying using a digital transformation tool such as the connected worker to get people onto a digital device. So they're using technology at their place of employment. They enjoy that, whether they're using something as simple as a cell phone or a tablet or a PC, or that your company is looking to use something more advanced, such as Google Glass, Iristic, RealWear, or HoloLens. Actually, I found this interesting statistic that 49% of the U.S. workforce would leave their job if they were frustrated with the technologies allotted to them. And I can definitely relate to that, right? If I worked at a company that had zero technology, I would not be very happy. I probably wouldn't work there for very long. That is one of the main attractions for me for working for a company like Symphony AI, which is on the cutting edge of technology and AI applications and providing real solutions that work for our customers, such as Proceedix or digital manufacturing solutions and plant performance. So that's the end of my benefits. Tyler, I'm going to hand it back over to you for poll question number 3.
All right, we've got one last poll question here. Based on what you saw today, are you interested in learning more about Symphony AI or Proceedix offerings? Yes, definitely not at this time, or would like some more information and you would like someone to reach out for me. And if that's the fact, we'll have Anderson or someone from his team directly reach out to you, and he can fill you in with brochures and videos and things of that nature. So anyways, get those in, and then we are going to get to questions after this. Right before that, I'm going to take back the screen briefly, Anderson, and do my little spiel about upcoming events. All right, we're going to go ahead and close that. Was there more to your presentation, Anderson?
Yeah, but just going to switch over to the, nope, I'm going to switch over to the Q&A, and then that's it.
Okay, good deal. All right, before the Q&A, we did have some questions come in, and some people did ask for copies of the video, and I will have a copy of this video up shortly after the presentation, so don't worry about that. I'm going to take back the screen for just 1 second. You just attended one of our digital manufacturing talks. They are very popular, but also we have some other virtual events coming up that you should know about as well. Our Digital Manufacturing Conference, that's going to be mid-February, the 15th and the 16th. It's a 2-day event. It's virtual, and it is free of charge, and we have a lot of external speakers that you might be interested in. Novelist Nippon Gas is going to be speaking, some of our users. PricewaterhouseCoopers on the first day, and on the second day, we are going to have TDK. We're going to have Ernst & Young LLP. They're going to be speaking, and then also we've got product roadmaps for digital manufacturing, product roadmaps for connected worker, might be right down everyone's alley here that's in attendance, and then also product roadmaps for plant performance. So you're not going to want to miss that. To go ahead and sign up for that, all you need to do is go to symphonyindustrial.ai, and then right here at the top, you can view the schedule, and you can go ahead and register right there. Also, if you're interested in more digital manufacturing talks, all you need to do is go to symphonyindustrial.ai and then actually go over to the resources tab, drop down to digital manufacturing talks, and it'll show you everything we've got coming down the pipeline. We just sat in with Anderson here on the 5 benefits of implementing connected worker, but just next week, managing KPIs from shop floor to top floor might be interesting. And then that next week, again, another one about KPIs. We've got our digital manufacturing conference, as I mentioned, but we've got digital manufacturing talks scheduled all the way into August, once a week, same time, every Thursday, same time as today. So you're going to want to go ahead and check that out. We've got a broad range of topics touching every industry and every challenge in those industries. So you're going to want to check that out. We've got something for everybody. So we hope to see you at another talk very soon. Against that, symphony.ai/virtual events. You can find it on our resources tab. So make sure you're checking those out. We hope to see you at another talk real soon. Let's take a look at the questions. All right, we've got some people saying great job in the comments. So it looks like you did a great job here. We did have a couple people asking for copies of the presentation deck. I'll have Anderson reach out to you directly. Again, we will have a recording of the video, so basically just as good. All right, let's see here. Okay, I got a question here, Anderson. Have you found user adoption to be an issue with Proceedix, connected worker?
So yes and no. The primary answer is no. It's always something that we watch out for. It's not something that we have an issue with. There's a couple ways around that, right? Like what we do is we make sure that the UX, the user experience, is appropriate, and that it's not too steep of learning curve, but it's not too basic that it's not interesting. So we find that right balance between user adoption within the UX. One example is what we do. It's being device agnostic. It sounds like something that you would put on a sales pitch, but it's actually very useful. Why is that? It's because you have the Android versus iPhone argument, right? Android, it's better. iPhone is better. If I argue with my parents about them using their Android, I can probably ruin a family dinner. And we don't want to get in the middle of that. If you like Android, you can use your Android with Proceedix. If you like iPhone, you can use your iPhone with Proceedix. I think a lot of companies have found that it's unreasonable for a worker to use Android and then come to work and have to use an iPhone. So it's too large of a learning curve, and there's too much resistance there. So Proceedix has definitely driven a lot of user adoption with that level of device agnostic behavior, and again, as well as the UX, right? It's this tension in between. You have to be attractive enough of a technology for the younger generation, but you can't be overly complicated so that the older, more senior technicians don't want to use this software because it's just too cumbersome. So we found this really nice middle ground, and we've seen a ton of success in building the user adoption. And I would say most of our clients say that that's usually not an issue when it comes to using Proceedix.
All right. Fantastic. This question kind of rolls into that one quite nicely. Good segue. So outside of smartphones and tablets, what is the most common connected worker device that you've seen implemented with great integration?
Yeah, that's a great question. So certainly smartphones and tablets are the highest. That's definitely at the top. I would say next is probably a laptop or a desktop of some sort. So we have a few organizations where the user needs to be hands-free, but not necessarily using a pair of smart glasses. So they'll use like a desktop or a laptop on a kiosk station, and they're filling out things as they go. And we do a couple of integrations with that, including like machine vision systems, so that they're not having to pull up the camera on the laptop and obviously moving the laptop around, logistics around that. So we do quite a bit with desktop laptop scenario, and then the final one would probably be the smart glasses, whether they're using RealWear, Iristic, certainly for that remote assistance feature. The deskless worker that needs to be completely hands-free, that's usually a good point for them. So they're leaning more into, we're seeing more and more growing in that technology inside of the wearable technology, whether it's even we've seen a few with like smart watches too, but certainly the vast majority are using cell phones and tablets. And Proceedix goes, not only are we device agnostic, we go on to all of these platforms, but a lot of our customers benefit from the fact that you don't have to build specific work instructions for different devices. So if you build it once, you're able to pull it up on your cell phone, and then you're able to synchronized switch over to your headset and use it on RealWear or Iristic as well.
Awesome.
Without having to build it.
Okay, good deal. Next question. Does your platform integrate well with platforms like, I'm going to pronounce this right, Jobos? J-O-B-B-O-S-S?
Yes, so we have an open API architecture, so integration is not an issue at all. I've never seen an integration be an issue on our end. It's usually the issue for integration, if there is any, very rare. It's on the other end of the applications. So they might have a hard time pushing and pulling data for IT restrictions or whatever that is. But yeah, we have an open API architecture. We can push and pull to and from a database. So we can integrate with the database that, for example, if you have an SAP system, we have an open API architecture we can speak directly with, or we can push and pull data to the database. We can assign data keys within Proceedix as well. So we can certainly push to the correct areas. And we can even do deeper integrations where we have like full integrations with like for device sending just or a software sending just a JSON object, for example, and we're just reading through the scripts within that object. Yeah, we certainly have different levels of integration, but it's usually not a difficult for us to solve at all. It's usually pretty straightforward.
Awesome. All right. Another ask for a video. Yep, we will have those videos up. I will reach out to everyone that asked for the recording with the recording link shortly after we close up shop here. Okay, last question. How does Proceedix handle scaling up to enterprise level organizations, multiple plants, sites, etc.?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so scalability is certainly one of our key points. It's really the essence of the entire platform. The whole platform is built for scalability. So we can start off with something as small as 20 to 50 users, not an issue. And we very quickly scale up. Like I said, we have customers with tens of thousands of users globally. A couple different ways we do that. It's really workspaces, for example. So we can segregate different sections of the company into workspaces within that company's install. And then we have different levels of administrators. So if you have we call it an admin, can be an administrator of that single workspace. And then we can have another level up of administrator, super administrator, who can be responsible across all the workspaces. So they can choose to either segregate the different company workspaces so that they can't see what each other is doing, or it can be more unified so that they can actually see a little bit of what each other's doing. Things like as simple as copy and pasting in between those different groups. So if group A has designed a procedure that works, group B wants to copy it and then paste it and then just make the revisions that they need to. I don't know, for example, if it's in France and they want to translate it into German, they can do that as well. Things like that for scalability purposes. It's big for us. And then other features, there's a ton, but other features such as user groups. So you can build a user within Proceedix and then set the permissions for that user. Then you have 10,000 users. You probably want to put them into some kind of groups so that you're not having to assign permissions individually. So you put that user into a group, then you can give that group an entire permission. Or when you launch a procedure, instead of clicking on every single person, you would click to an entire group of people and aggregate the different users that way. So yeah, scalability is definitely our strong point. I would say the vast majority of our customers are enterprise level, larger customers, and they seem to enjoy Proceedix and have a very high input with our roadmap, if you will, to get them to that enterprise level version of Proceedix.
Fantastic. All right. And it looks like that is going to bring us to 15 to the hour. So we will close up shop here. Anderson, thank you very much. I know these are time consuming to put together and you did a great job. For those of you out in the audience, this was his first DM talk. First of many, hopefully. You knocked it out of the park. A lot of accolades in the comments. So they really appreciate it. And so do I. And to the audience, we know your time is valuable as well. So thank you for showing up. We hope to see you at another talk. Like I said, you can go to the site and find those registration links. But anyways, we're going to let everybody go. Anderson, thank you very much again. And to everyone else, have a fantastic day.
Thank you, everyone.